Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope you're all enjoying the World Juniors, and we're just going to start off this video, the first video of the day. This is going to be about the 2021 prediction for the Colorado Avalanche. So, two words come to mind when I think about the Colorado Avalanche, and it's just great team. They are one of the biggest forces in the NHL, and if not, without a doubt, the best team in the Western Conference. So they're likely going to have home ice advantage all throughout the next playoffs, assuming that they don't have serious injuries and that they can make it to that status quo. So they finished 42-20-8 last year, and obviously made the playoffs. They absolutely destroyed the Arizona Coyotes, a huge part from Nathan MacKinnon, and that sent them into the second round for a matchup against the Dallas Stars. Now, on paper, I think most people's opinion would be that the Avalanche would have beat the Stars, and that obviously wasn't the case. The Stars went to the Stanley Cup final, but they were suffering from a lot of injuries. They had a lot of their pieces missing, and the most notable was Philip Grubauer in net. Now, this series obviously went 7 games. If you guys don't remember, I'm sure if you're an Avs fan or a Dallas Stars fan, you remember the series a lot more clearly. They had Michael Hutchison playing in net for Game 7. Game 6 and 7. So he won Game 6 and got them to that 7th, but they actually lost in overtime in Game 7. And I really think if Grubauer was healthy, this team would have went all the way, and I would have been extremely excited to see what a Tampa Bay and Colorado Stanley Cup final would have brought to us. So when I look at this lineup, the main question that comes up is, what can each of these players really accomplish individually? And what I mean by that is, can Mikko Rantanen and Nathan MacKinnon continue to be the stars that they are? Yes, I think they will be. I think MacKinnon is going to break his own scoring records, and Rantanen is going to be along for the ride with him. And obviously one of the biggest pieces of the team that everyone's looking forward to next year, and even maybe the next time we see full 82-game season, is Cale Makar. Now, Makar came out of nowhere. Everyone knew how good he was in when he was playing in college, but they didn't think he was going to step right in the way he did, and then having the full season that he did and winning the Calder Trophy. Now, so watching the World Juniors, it just kind of reminds you of what Colorado has coming to them. And two of Colorado's prospects on defense are playing on this World Junior team for Canada, in Justin Barron and the captain, well, not the real captain, but the alternating captain with Dylan Cousins, is Bowen Byram. Byram, when you're watching him, he is just far and away better than every person that he's up against, and it doesn't really matter who he's facing. He's so composed, and he just looks like a complete shutdown defenseman, and he doesn't really take many shots, it seems like, and this might just be because he's deferring to us other skilled players. If he was playing on a worse team, maybe he would be taking the offense into his own hands, but the way that he rushes the ice and the way that he starts the breakout, it's just completely impressive, and you can tell that he probably could have been a full-timer on the Avalanche roster if they had room for him, which them sending him back down to the Vancouver Giants, I think, really helped out with him, and him having this full experience at the World Juniors is really going to help him out too. So surprisingly enough, they haven't had any really big subtractions. They had some notable additions, but the subtractions, the most notable was Nikita Zadorov, but they replaced him with Devon Taves. They got him from the New York Islanders and immediately re-signed him to a 4-year deal, and he is one guy that you shouldn't really sleep on because he's shown a very he's shown that he really understands the game. Shutting down the rush and getting the puck back up to his forwards is all you can ask for out of your defenseman, and he does that fantastically. Although he's probably not going to be on the first pair, he's definitely going to be on that second pair, and he's going to have a huge opportunity in Colorado. And along with them getting Brandon Saad out of the hands of the Chicago Blackhawks, he's going to fit in wherever they slot him in, because he's always been able to put up those 20-25 goals, and whether it's the first line or the fourth line, which I don't think he's going to be on the fourth, but he's going to definitely produce no matter what. I think he's going to absolutely thrive in Colorado. But the biggest underlying thing, if you look back to last season, is Philip Grubauer getting hurt twice. And that can't happen again this year because they showed that they didn't have that goaltending depth. Their style of play is not a style of play that allows too many shots. They are gifted on the defensive end, so a lot of high quality opportunities just didn't happen. So they did get lucky when people like Francouz came up, and he did an okay job, and they were able to get by with Michael Hutchinson after a little bit for the playoffs. But ultimately, Grubauer needs to give them a full or close to full healthy season. Otherwise, there's going to be a big problem in net for Colorado because they don't really have that bona fide backup. And again, I saw in an article that the best thing they could probably do is look out for the deadline, which makes a lot of sense because, I mean, you can't know in the beginning of the season what's going to happen at the deadline, but it's always a good idea to be open-minded and get a guy in there that can get those wins and maybe help out if Grubauer does go down. So yeah, obviously the prediction is going to be playoffs for sure, 100%. I think their roster could get decimated and they would still make it as a high seed. Like I said, I think they're going to be the top team in the Western Conference, home ice advantage all throughout the playoffs. I don't think there's any question about that. Maybe the only one would Vegas click and maybe take it from them, but I just really don't see that. Just let me know if you disagree with me, if you're a Vegas fan. And one of my friends is an Avs fan, so I'm sure he agrees with me when I talk about the absolute premium talent that exists on the Colorado Avalanche. And I want to see them go deep. I want to see them accomplish everything with Nathan MacKinnon. He deserves what he has right now, and I'm glad that the talent on that team isn't being squandered. Like, Joe Sakic is doing an amazing job. So that's it for this video. The Colorado Avalanche 2021 season preview and prediction. I hope you guys are all enjoying it and enjoying the World Juniors. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.